Audio.
Hey, do you know that you can now edit your contents on the web page? Or you can simply add a disable effect to your button, or simply add additional information upon hovering on any element on the web page, or simply set the limit of the file which can be uploaded. Like here we have set the limit to PDF and JPG only. Or can simply download the resume or maybe any image you want. Or let's say you want to protect your content from getting copied. So what you can do, you can simply disable the right click. See, we cannot copy this thing. Cool, right? So want to add these features on your web page. So as you know, when you use HTML, tags alone are not enough. You need to use some attributes which can provide additional information or maybe additional behavior to those tags. So in this video, I'll show you some of the most useful attributes that you can use along with your tags. So let's start the video. So the first attribute that we have is simply your content editable attribute. So with this, you can edit the contents on the web page. So let's say we simply have a p tag, or let's say we have something like this, like we cannot edit the contents on the web page. So if we use this attribute, that is simply your content editable. And if I set this to true, so now you will be able to edit the contents on your web page. So let's change this to simply can. So see, the content got changed, but this behavior will be temporary. It means if you refresh the page, see, you will see your original content only. So the next attribute that we have is simply your disable attribute. So let's say we simply have a button. Let's say simply submit button. So if you use this disabled attribute, then your submit button will be disabled. See, so when this thing will be useful, so let's say you simply have a login form, and that time, as you know, we have email and password options. So let's say if the user, so let's say both the fields are empty, then initially the submit button will be disabled. And as soon as you enter your details in both the fields, then that time your button will get active. So that time this disabled button will be useful. So let's just customize this a bit. So for that you need to use a bit of CSS. So I'm going with simply your inline CSS. That is with the help of style attribute. So let's say simply your cursor simply set to not allowed. So now see, upon hovering, you will see this thing like not allowed symbol. Cool, right? So now let's move on to our next attribute. That is simply your title attribute. So let's say again, we simply have a button. Let's say simply download button. So let's say we are using title attribute, and let's just define what this button will do. So let's say this button is for downloading your resume. Let's assume it. So what we can do, we can simply give additional information like click this button to download a resume. See, we have a download button. Now see, upon hovering, see, it says click this button to download resume. So with this title attribute, you can simply define for what the element is about. Upon hovering, the user will see that message. So now let's say you simply have an input field of type simply file. So as you know, when you will have input type of file, you can simply choose the file, right? So let's say I choose this MP4 file. So now no issues, right? But let's say you want to restrict the user to choose any type of file. Let's say you want the user to choose only PDF file or JPG file extensions. So that time you can simply use this accept attribute and simply specify .pdf, .jpg. So with this attribute, the users can choose only the file with the extensions .pdf and .jpg. So see, it says only PDF and JPG file are allowed. So this way you can restrict the user. So let's say again the next attribute. Let's say you simply have an anchor tag. Let's say we simply have some image. So I already have one image here. That is your demo.png. So let's say we simply have this image. So now if I click this download image, see, your image is getting opened, right? But now we cannot download it. So now to download the image, we can simply add. So now if I click this download image, see, so this thing will be useful when you want a user. Let's say you will create a portfolio website. So that time one can easily download your resumes with the help of this download attribute. Now let's say you simply have a website where you want to avoid users from copying your contents. Let's say simply we have a p tag and let's add some dummy text, and simply to add a dummy text, simply type lorem and simply decide the length, let's say 80 words, then click enter. See, you got a dummy text of 80 words. So let's say this is the content of your website, and now if anyone is visiting your website, he will simply copy this, have a right click and simply copy the content, right? So to avoid your content from being copied by anyone, you can simply use the onContextMenu and simply have return false. So with this attribute and the value as simply return false, you will simply disable the right click. So see, now again, if anyone is trying to copy your content, your right click will not work. See, even if I am trying to copy this by the help of right click, it's not working. Cool, right? And the last attribute, simply go to your head section and simply add a meta tag, simply http-equiv to simply refresh and simply content and simply set the time you want your web page to get automatically refreshed. So let's say after 6 seconds. So after 6 seconds, this web page will get refreshed. So as I told you, we can edit the content, but upon refreshing, we will see the original content, right? So let's try to edit this and check whether our page is getting refreshed or not. See, it automatically got refreshed after 6 seconds. So you all keep your focus here. See again. So your page is getting refreshed automatically after 6 seconds. Cool, right? So these were the most useful HTML attributes that can simply add more behaviors to your tags. So whenever you create small projects, you can simply add them for better interactivity. So I hope you all understood about these attributes in a much better way. So see you all in the next one. Till then, take care.